Coolersonsale.com here for the best budget cooler. You guys at home wanted to see what is the best cooler that you can buy for under $100, so we put that together. With the exception of one or two coolers here, all of these coolers can be picked up for less than $100. I'll put all the price ranges in the description below because they do vary whether you buy on Amazon, Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, Academy Sports, etc. So there is a little bit of a variation there, so I'll put the range in the description below, but most of these coolers can be picked up for less than $100, and we want to see how is the performance of these budget coolers versus a roto molded cooler, which we'll have at the end of the video as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the coolers that we're working with, give you the size. We'll show you that they are in fact filled to capacity with ice. We pre-chilled all of these coolers for 24 hours. As you're seeing right now, we went to the marina yesterday. We picked up ice to fill up all these coolers to capacity. We let them sit for 24 hours. It actually cost $300 to fill all these coolers up with ice. We drained them down, topped them back up with ice this morning, added 2 beverages so that you can see at home that they are in fact filled to capacity, and we'll see how it shakes out. So let's go ahead and take a look on the inside. First up is the Igloo BMX 25. This was recommended from you guys at home. Filled to capacity with ice. As you can see, we'll go ahead and break that up, and we'll add the 2 beverages on top. Not sure if you guys saw it in the video or not, but this does not have a drain plug, so I had to tip it over. Followed by the Lifetime. This is a 28 quart cooler made in the USA, and as you can see on the front, they advertise 5-day ice retention. We're gonna see if that's true or not. Filled to capacity with ice. Go ahead and break this up. Put in the 2 beverages on top. Again, another cooler without a drain plug, so I had to tip it over to get any water out. Made in the USA. Followed by the Coleman Extreme 50 quart. This is a cooler with wheels. It has a telescopic handle. Filled to capacity with ice. Go ahead and throw in 2 bottles of water. This does have a drain plug. It's on the back side of the cooler. Next up is the Igloo Latitude 50 quart. We have the thermometer on the top, 86 degrees on the surface and 49 degrees on the inside. This does have a drain plug on the backside. Made in the USA. This is made in Texas. Filled to capacity with ice. And we'll go ahead and add the 2 beverages. Next up is the Igloo Latitude 50. This is a non-wheeled cooler, as I'm sure you can see. This does not have a drain plug on this cooler, so I had to tip it over to drain it out of the water. Again, made in the USA. Filled to capacity with ice and 2 beverages on top. Next up is the Igloo BMX 52. This one does have a drain plug. We have 86 degrees on the surface, 35 degrees on the inside. Filled to capacity with ice. And we'll go ahead and throw in 2 beverages. This is not made in the USA. This is made overseas. Next up is the Igloo Quantum. This is a 52 quart cooler with wheels. It does have a drain plug on the back, 86 degrees on the surface, 37 degrees on the inside. So you can see throughout the test the difference in temperature between a white cooler versus a dark cooler. Filled to capacity. This also has slots for rod holders on the outside. Filled to capacity with ice. Go ahead and throw in 2 beverages on top. Next up is the Igloo Island Breeze. This is a 60 quart cooler filled to capacity with ice. This does have a drain plug out back. Made in the USA, as you can see. Add the 2 beverages on top. Next up is the Coleman 60 quart roller cooler. This does have a drain plug out back. Again, a telescopic handle with wheels, filled to capacity with ice. Go ahead and add 2 beverages on the top. Next up is the Igloo Max Cold Latitude 62 quart cooler. This has a drain plug out back as well, telescopic handle, and made in the USA. Filled to capacity with ice. Go ahead and add 2 beverages. Next up is the exception to the rule in terms of budget coolers. This is the Igloo Trailmate 70 quart. This is a little bit more expensive of a cooler, but it is super nice and it has really, really nice wheels on it. We're gonna test that in a different video, but we want to go ahead and include it because it's not a roto molded cooler, so it is a little bit cheaper. Filled to capacity with ice. Again, a 70 quart cooler. Go ahead and add the 2 waters. The top. Last but not least is the Lifetime. This is a 77 quart cooler. Again, a little bit over $100, but not a roto molded cooler, so it's still relatively cheap. I think you could pick it up for a little over $100 depending on where you buy it. Again, a 77 quart cooler and made in the USA. Filled to capacity with ice. Go ahead and add 2 beverages. All right, so there you have it. That's the rundown of coolers, and they are in fact filled to capacity of ice. We are underway here with the test. As I showed you along the way, we have the thermometers out there inside and outside. We set them on a red cooler, a dark cooler, as well as a white cooler, so we can get the difference in the temperature throughout the test. For your sake at home, we are going to speed through this. We're gonna open the coolers 3 times a day. Morning, afternoon, and evening. Rotate the beverages from top to bottom, bottom to top. This simulates actual use. It allows you at home to see the progression of ice melt, but again, like I said, we're gonna speed through this, and we're gonna find out what is the best cooler that you can buy under $100. We're also going to follow up this test with a how well do the coolers roll? Can you sit on the lid without them caving in? Because a lot of these cheaper or more budget friendly coolers are not roto molded coolers, so you can't really sit on them. We're going to follow up that in a different video. I'll link to that in the description below. But for the sake of this video, we're going to find out what is the best cooler under $100 for ice retention. We'll pick up at the end of the video once we have some results. 5 full days. Seven full days. Eight days. After nearly 8 days, we have reached the end of the best budget cooler under $100. As you're seeing right now, we have rearranged these coolers in order in accordance to how long they held ice, and I will give you the rundown right now. First here on the end is the Igloo Latitude 50. This held ice for 4.5 days. Next up, we have the 2 Coleman's as well as the Igloo Latitude 60. They held ice for 5.5 days. Next is the Igloo Island Breeze 60, 6 days that it held ice. Then we have the Igloo BMX 25 and the Lifetime 28, 6.5 days each. And the next up is the Igloo BMX 52, 7.5 days. Actually, it was closer to 7 days, just over 7 days. Next up is the Igloo Max Cold 62, 7.5 days. And our winner here on the end is the Igloo Quantum White Roller between 7.5 and 7.75 days. That is the winner of the challenge. Now, you may notice from the beginning of this video that we have 2 coolers that are setting off to the end here. That is the Igloo Trailmate 70 as well as the Lifetime 77. And the reason that we have those sitting off to the side is after 8 days they actually still have ice in them, but the caveat to that is they are more than $100. So we want to give you an idea of what does $100 get you, how long will it hold ice. But the flip side to that is these coolers that still have ice in them actually held ice longer than some of the roto molded coolers that we have down here that we are testing simultaneously. Most of those that have dropped out as of right now are between 45 and 50 quarts. So if you are willing to jump up to that 60, 70, even 80 quart range, you might be able to get a budget cooler that's slightly over $100 that will hold ice on par with a roto molded cooler. So keep that in mind. Next up, as you guys might have seen when we were moving these coolers around, in fact, I could probably kick this out here in front of me as I move it around because it still has water in it from the ice test. It does leak. So a lot of people were asking this on YouTube, what about coolers that don't leak? If it was to tip over in the back of an SUV, just get bumped around on a boat, etc. So in the next video, we are going to roll these around, shake them around so that you can get an idea of coolers that don't leak. We will show these as well as the roto molded coolers, as well as a few soft-sided coolers. And the next point, the video after that, is we are going to be testing rolling coolers or wheeled coolers. A lot of you guys at home asked to see what is the difference between the different style of wheeled coolers. How do they handle asphalt? How do they handle grass? How do they handle sand? We're going to do that in the next video, but for the sake of this video, I wanted to give you guys an idea of what a $100 cooler looks like. How long can it hold ice? Again, I will list this in the description below in order, tell you how long they held ice as well as the price. The price varies all the time, so I'm just going to give you an idea, and I will have a full write-up of this on coolersonsale.com. Thanks guys for your suggestions at home. This was your idea, so we really appreciate it. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up. It's what helps us to keep going, and be back next time for more video reviews.